Can you hear me? Please unmute and respond to me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Rishabh Balraz, if you can unmute and respond to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
सी आंटी जा आंटी से वो चीज ही लेना
So let's start today's session. Okay, I hope you can hear me. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I hope you can see my screen. Before the start of this session, if you have any question, you can ask me. You can unmute. Okay, so in today's session, we are going to discuss another and important tool, that is Cucumber. This is used based on behavior-driven design. So I will be demonstrating that tool in this session, and in the end, we will have a quick informal quiz. So let's start our discussion. So there are two ways to build the system. One is considered as test-driven development approach, and second is considered as behavior-driven development approach. So I know that for most of you, these may be new terms to you. So I will be quickly discussing what is test-driven development and what is behavior-driven development. And then I will build the base for our new tool, that is Cucumber. So I request everyone to please carry your notebook and pen so that you can take notes along with the discussion on this topic. So in test-driven development approach, um, test cases actually drive the whole design process. So we write the test case first, and then after writing the test case, we write the code. So code is written after writing the test case. So let's suppose you get some requirement. Suppose you want to create a function which can simply perform addition of two numbers. So instead of start writing the code, you will write the test case that, okay, there will be a function that will take two number as input, and if I take two number as 2 and 3, the output should be 5. So there is a test case for that particular function. So we write the test case first, and then after writing the test case, we write the code. So it means that this in test-driven development approach, test cases drive the whole design process. You write the test case first, and then you write the code to make those test case pass. So the advantage of this approach is that you keep focused on the purpose of the code, because ultimately the purpose of the code is to perform some action. And so we first of all write the test cases to check that uh, to verify the functionality of those code, and then we write the code to make those test cases pass. So if code is able to pass those test cases, then we say that our job is done. So this is the whole workflow in case of a test-driven design. So in first step, we write the test case. Since there is no code we have in the beginning, so of course the test will fail. Then we write the code to make that test pass. For example, if you can consider simple example, having a function for addition of two numbers. So the function will be so let me write that example for you. So you can consider it like this: C is equal to um, add 3 comma 2. So you know that if you write this, the expected output should be 5. So you will be comparing this expected output with the actual output. And in that particular case, you just write various test cases and you check that the output of this should be 5. So we first write the test case, and then we write the code to pass that test case. So we write the function body of that function so that the output should be 5. and then we keep on improving the code. That step is called as refactor. So this is the way the whole development process work. So for every function, we first write the test case, then we write the code to pass that test case, and in third step we further improve the code, and that way we try to build each and every function. So this is considered as test driven approach, because we start with test case and then we write the code accordingly. And here we use red, green, and reflector as the three important steps to build whole this application, and that is based on test-driven approach. So why it is important? Because it saves time when we develop. You can code faster with more confidence, and you ensure that code is working as expected, and it ensures that future changes don't break your code, because everything is tested, and it is driven by design is driven by this testing process. So this is considered as test driven design. The another approach is considered as behavior driven design. So before moving to behavior driven design, I will pause at this point. If you have any question regarding test driven design, you can ask me at this point. Okay, so let's move to the next point. The next point is behavior driven design. So in this case, we are driven by our requirements. So behavior driven design is basically focused more on what we require from the system, what kind of behavior we are expecting from the system, and that is the whole driven process. So it describes the behavior of the system from the outside, and then we build the system around that. So normally, when we consider the overall behavior of the system, it require multiple functions. So it is best for integration testing, because here we work for overall behavior of the system. Now, the best part of this behavior driven design is that it uses the syntax which both developer and stakeholder can easily understand, since it is related with the requirements, and these requirements we capture from those stakeholders, from customer. So normally the test driven approach is based on our our testing functions. So these test functions is normally not understood by our clients. So it is only for developers, because our client will not understand those test cases. But here in behavior driven design, we reached at a platform where both developer and stakeholder can easily understand the syntax. So here the terminology which we are using is understood by both developer as well as stakeholder. So it provide a platform where both developer and stakeholder can understand what is going on, and stakeholders can easily see what are the user stories, what are my requirements, and then developer will take on from that and ensure that all those requirements are satisfied, or our code is written accordingly, which can satisfy all those requirements. So this is behavior driven design. So behavior driven design ensure that you are building the right thing. So we focus more on the requirements, and it ensure that what we are building is actually as per the guidelines from the client, and it ensure that you are building the right thing. While in test driven design, we focus more on building the thing right, because we focus more on writing test cases. So we ensure that we are what function we are building is actually we are building in the right way. So as behavior driven design, it explore the problem domain that describe the behavior. And as I told you earlier, that this is a behavior driven design is gone by the approach where clients can understand the whole process. So we write the requirements, or we write the requirements in a plain English type syntax, and we use special syntax for that. And that case is called as Gherkin language. So we use Gherkin syntax to describe the behavior of the system, and everything is based on that. So what is that? How we write Gherkin syntax, and how uh, we can move from Gherkin syntax to the actual code. I will discuss all those things in this behavior driven design. So ultimately, our overall aim is to have a document that understood by both clients as well as developers. So that document carry the specification and test cases. So as I mentioned, everything is based on written in a some Gherkin syntax, which is easy to read, and it is a natural language syntax, which is written in simple English language, and it has three major part, which is given, when, and then. So if this is given when based on some conditions, then what will be the expected output? So given actually indicates some context, when indicates some event happens, and then some testable outcome. So it has three important part. You can write down that point maybe on your notebook. So every Gherkin syntax has specification or features has three important part: given, which indicates the context; when, which indicates event happening; and then which indicates some testable outcome. We can have more events or more outcomes. We can specify that by using keyword and. So in order to explain that point, let us consider this example. I hope that through this example, everything will be clear to you. So after this example, I will take your question if you still have some doubts regarding Gherkin syntax. So let us consider this example. So here we wish to build a feature, return go to stock. So there is a stock management system, and we wish to achieve the feature that whenever some client or customer returns something, that item should go to the stock. So we specify all these things as a store manager. So as a store manager, you need to add item back to stock when they are returned, so that I can keep track of my stock on hold on hand. So this is the way you can specify your feature by using three important part of the syntax: as, I, and so. So as a store manager, you are giving user story as a store manager. You are saying that as a store manager, I need to add item back to stock when they are returned. So when item is returned, it should be added back to the stock so that I can keep track of my stock on hand. So we can define that scenario. We can define that feature by creating scenarios. So one scenario will be refund item should be returned to the stock. So refunded item should be returned to the stock. So as I mentioned, in Gherkin syntax, it is having three component: given, and when. So given is that when a customer previously bought a black sweater from me, and I have three black sweaters in the stock, when they return the black sweater for refund, then I should have four black sweaters in the stock. So I hope this scenario makes sense to you, which clearly say that given that customer previously bought a sweater and returning that, so we are using and to making a continuity with the given conditions. So uh, given point is that customer first bought the sweater, and then um, I have three sweaters in my stock in the original. So when they return the black sweater for refund, then I should have four black sweaters. So you see that in Gherkin syntax, we have given when and then. So given indicates the some context, when indicates some event happen, and then some testable outcome. So you can see that given indicates some context. This is the context that someone bought the sweater. I have three sweater in stock. This indicates the event that someone is returning black sweater back for refund. And then the testable output is that my count should be four in the stock once I return the item. So this is the testable outcome, that after completing that transaction, my sweater should be four in the stock. This indicates the event that someone is returning, and this indicates the context. So context is written by using given, when indicates the uh, con- uh, event, and then indicates the testable output. And this is the way we specify the features as, I, and so. So as a store manager, I need to add item back to the stock so that I can keep track of stock on the hand. So if you have any confusion with this example, you can ask me any question. So this is the way the Gherkin, we specify our features by this particular type of examples. So Gherkin is used for every user story. So this is one such user story, and we specify the scenarios for a given user stories. And we use that Gherkin to do that particular behavior driven design. And you can see that with this, it improves the overall communication, because with this, my stakeholder and developer both can communicate, and it provides the precise information for the guidance. It provides a common syntax. It is self-documenting, and it ensure higher code quality and acceptance criteria, particularly for user stories. So these are some of the benefit of behavior driven design, and the major benefit is having a platform where both client and coder or developer can communicate at the same time in the same language. So this is the language which is understood by both client as well as the developer. So client can understand that, and also developer can take it from that and can build the whole application or whole testing scenario from that language. So I will explain you how Cucumber will help us to build the whole test situation based on these kind of scenarios which are written in Gherkin syntax. So let's move to now our tool, that is Cucumber. So now we will switch into Cucumber and understand how Cucumber will be implementing that behavior driven design in action. So as I specified the scenarios, we have to write the scenario. So these scenarios are written in the Gherkin language, and they are written in a feature file. So in this whole tool, feature file is very important, where we specify scenarios by using Gherkin syntax or Gherkin language. And these feature file is understood both by technology people as well as the business people. So Cucumber help us to build that overall pipeline, in which we first of all specify our features written in Gherkin language in a feature file. And then after that, we also implement all the Java testing code and our main runner file for defining all those applications and steps. So feature file is written in Gherkin language, as I have already explained, and it has three main component. One is given, which indicates some precondition or context. When it indicates some action or events, and then that is the expected output. So as I mentioned, first of all, we mentioned the user stories, and user story has three component: who, what, and why. So who, as I mentioned, as a role, I want this so that I can do this. So every user story has three important component: who, what, and why. And for example, in this case, you can see that we are talking about a store owner. So who is store owner? What I need to add item back to this. Why? So that I can keep track of my stock on the item. So it has three component. Every user story has three component. First is who, then second is what, and third part is why. So as a store manager, what I need to add item back to the stock, why I need, so that I can keep track of my stock on the hand. And then in order to support that user story, we write scenarios, and every scenario has three component. One is given, when, and then part. So this is what we mentioned, that in this feature, we have a user story which has three part: who, what, and why. And then we have multiple scenarios, and every scenario have given, when, and then part, which is further supported by additional information which can be added by keyword and. So Gherkin syntax uses all those part. So here I use some examples so that you can relate to that. So first feature is user login. So this is what I have written for specifying how this user login will work. So one scenario is successful login with valid credential, and another scenario may be unsuccessful login with invalid credentials. So in case of user login, there are two possible scenarios. One is successful login and second is unsuccessful login. So we can mention both the scenarios for this particular feature. So as I mentioned, for one story, there may be multiple scenarios. So if one story is a user login, so there are two possible scenario. One may be successful login, second may be unsuccessful login. And every scenario has three main part: given, when, and then. So you see that for successful login, I written that when the user is on the login page, given the user is on the login page, and when the user enter valid username and password and click the login button, then user should be redirected to the dashboard page. So I hope you clearly understand that. So given the user is on the login page, when event is user enter valid username and password and click login button, then the outcome should be, it should be redirected to the dashboard page. So this is a scenario for successful login. In case of unsuccessful login, given the user is on the login page and when the user enter invalid username and password and click login button, then error message should be displayed. So this is the outcome if it is unsuccessful login, and this will be the outcome if it is a successful login. So these are two possible scenarios for given user login. So I will be demonstrating that through Cucumber tool, how to use that. So Cucumber is a tool which is used for behavior driven development, and this is a software development approach that combined these trust driven approach and domain driven approach, and Cucumber integrate all those things in a very effective way. So there are three main part in Cucumber. First is writing that feature in Gherkin syntax. So Cucumber tests are written in a language called Gherkin, which I already explained, that has given, when, and then part. There is also a feature file where you wrote all those features. And then we have step definitions where actually the whole code is defined. So first is Gherkin syntax. I will explain that step by step. So first part is Gherkin syntax where we have to mention the whole scenario. Then there is a feature file which specify all those features. So let's understand how to do that particular installation in Eclipse. So I will be using Eclipse scheme folders structure which we were using. So you know that you are familiar with now this Eclipse structure. So let me move to that point so that I can explain that. So this is our first part. So you know that we have to start with a Maven project. So again, we are working in a Maven, and the advantage of using Maven project is that it will arrange everything in appropriate folders. So you see that in Maven, we have all those folder which carry the main code, resources, testing, and all those things. So first part is to have specify all the dependency which is mentioned in pom.xml. So this is my dependencies for this Cucumber. So you see that here I mention the dependency, and in this dependency we mention that we are working in Cucumber. So these are the dependencies which require for Cucumber, and of course I will be building login page, so that will require Selenium also, which I discussed in the last session. So I am also specifying Selenium and JUnit because ultimately it is testing the whole part. And this is based on Gherkin syntax. So I mention all those dependency. So I will share all those dependency file with you so that you can simply copy paste that in your XML file, so that all desirable uh, library and package should be downloaded in all those Maven dependencies. So when I save that, you see that all those Maven dependency which is required for Cucumber is automatically downloaded in this project. So first part is our specification of pom.xml file. So let's move to that presentation mode. So here you see that in first step, I'm mentioning that in pom.xml we have to specify our Cucumber dependency. That is the first step. So when you save that, automatically all dependencies will be downloaded. So this is important part. And as I mentioned, we will be working on login page. So login page testing requires Selenium, where we have to verify that if username and password is correct, then automatically it shows a successful login. So as you know that in order to work on Selenium, you have to download the drivers. So of course you require drivers too. And can anyone specify how we can download the drivers uh, in Selenium? What is the step for the driver? If you remember, anyone, what kind of driver is required and why we require driver? Can anyone answer that question? Why we require drivers for Selenium? Here, what kind of driver we are talking about? Okay, I got one response. Inspect. No, it's not about inspect driver. What is driver in that case? Okay,
Chrome driver.
yeah, so here we are talking about Chrome driver. So yeah, you see that in drivers, I have used the same step Chrome driver, because ultimately you have to open a login page and you have to visit all those websites. So that require Chrome. So that's why again you need to follow all the step which is required for Chrome driver. So this is dependency. Second is the Chrome driver, and third important step is to another important step is to download other important dependency from the marketplace. So let's first understand all the installation steps. So first step is this, all the dependency which is this, you can simply copy paste that on pom.xml. And second is this Eclipse marketplace. And from Eclipse marketplace, we have to download the dependencies for the Cucumber. So you just need to search this Cucumber Eclipse plugin that will be available in this Eclipse marketplace. So under help, you need to go to Eclipse marketplace, and under this just search Cucumber, and this will give you the plugin, and you need to install that plugin. So this is another important requirement to work on this. So let me explain this through this interface. So what I'm saying that this is our interface. So under help, go to this Eclipse marketplace. So here it will show you the find button, and in this you can search Cucumber. So when you search Cucumber, it will give you plugin. It is already installed in my case, but you need to install that in order to work on Cucumber. So this is another important requirement in order to work on this tool. So let's go back to our presentation. I hope this point is now clear to you. So once you download that, then we are ready to define our stories. So now the next part is to define our resources. So let me go back to my code. So here, this is our feature file, and you know that in feature file we have to define our features. So here we are going to implement login functionality. So the feature is login functionality, and the scenario is successful login with valid credentials. So I am only implementing one scenario for this case study, which say that when user is on the login page and when it enter valid username and password, then the user should be redirected to the dashboard. So this is my scenario, and it should be written in the feature file. So how to write that in the feature file? Let's discuss that first on this particular arrangement. Okay, so here we have this now. So you see under resources, I have created a folder feature, and in this you need to create a feature file. So first of all, go here and create a folder. So you need to create a folder. So the name of the folder is features, and then I'm creating a file under this. So here you need to create a file. You see, this is the file, and name that file as a feature file. So this is the file login.feature we are creating, and it's important to give the extension as .feature. So when you give the file name as .feature, you see it will have different icon on that. So in this, mention your feature. So feature is login functionality, and we have just mentioned all the scenario which is required. So this is the first step. So create a file called as login.feature, and in that specify your feature, which is written in simple plain Gherkin syntax. So now based on this syntax, we need to write our test cases, which ensure that if user login on that page, it automatically do all kind of testing. So the next step will be to write the Java code for that. And the Java code is written under a package. So go to test Java, file, new, create package. So you see that here I have created the package test runner, and in this I have created this file. So this is the second step. So first step is creating the feature file, and second step will be to create this runner file. So this runner file is a simple Java class, which is mentioned in this package name test runner. And we are specifying that it will run with cucumber.class, which is already imported because we have downloaded all the dependencies, so it can understand that. And there are two tags. One is run with Cucumber class, and second Cucumber option. So this is important. So in Cucumber option, we are specifying the path for our feature files. So we are specifying that my feature file is present in source, test resources, and features folder. So you can see that source, test resources, and then feature folder. So in this path, my feature file is present, and in this case, it is login features. So in order to test that login feature, the code will be available in a package which is called as steps. So the code is available in this test Java in a package called as steps. So this is the path where the code is mentioned to achieve that particular, you can say, feature. And this is the plugin which will generate Cucumber report for our overall code. And this is the simple class. So the point is just 3 lines of code. In first, we specify the path for feature. In second, we specify the path for our Java code, which will implement those features. And third is just a plugin to read that particular Cucumber report. So here, let's suppose we don't have any code in the first step. So you can you can simply specify any folder, any path, and I'm running this without, let's suppose, any code for this login steps. So let's run that only 2 steps. So first step is login feature, which we created as a scenario. The second step is the runner file. And in runner file, we specify the path for feature, the path for my main code, which will be available in steps, but I'm intentionally I'm giving you a different file path name, which is not existing. So it will run and it will give me an error, but I'm doing this intentionally because I want to explain one important point to you. And another is important plugin which is required to implement all those points. So let's run that. So you need to right click, run as JUnit. So here, when I run this as JUnit, you see that it says that this is the scenario which we are testing, and this is the report it generate. So we have not implemented it fully, but try to understand this important part. So it says that this glue dot steps are not available. That's why it is giving me the error, because these code is missing, and it specify me this, that you can implement these steps using this snippet below. So this automatically is giving me the code which I need to write. So it says that you have to use @given in order to implement the features. And it says that @given, and the user is on the login page. So there is a need to implement this particular tag, that if user is on the login page, then you need to create a working code to test it. So public void user is on the login page. So write the code here that turn the phrase above into concrete action. So there should be some code which can test it. Similarly, @when, this is the complete feature which I mentioned for when the user enter valid username and password. So it says that you need to write this function, void user enter a valid username and password, and you need to write code for this. And then then the user should redirect it to dashboard, and I need to write the code for that. So it is giving me some sample code which you can simply copy paste, and that provide you the base to write your Java code. So my point is that just create feature file and then run it once, and it will automatically give you the base code which you need to write in order to test those features. So it's specifying that this is your feature given. So in given, I specify the user is on the login page. So you see the user is on the login page. So it is written in the double quotes, and it say that you need to implement @given tag, and you need to create one function for this. Then it says that this is the then feature. You see the same, the user enter a valid username and password in double quotes. And it says that you need to implement this tag by creating a function for this. And then we have this then condition. So this is the then condition, the same. And it says that you need to implement @then. So I got some base code, and by copying that base code, just create a Java file for that. So this is the Java file which I have created by taking that base code. So here the Java class is login step. And you see, this is the same code which I have taken from that @given. And this is the same function. So it says that you need to create one tag for @given. And it says create a function. The user is on the login page. And I simply write once print statement to test it. And in this print statement, I have not tested anything, just write print statement. The user is on the login page. Similarly, it's aiming to write, implement this when. So I have implemented this when by copying the same code which I got from my previous outcome. And then I simply write system.println user enter valid username and password. And then it says write then. So, and this is the function I need to implement. And I added one print statement into that. So I have not implemented whole Selenium code. I just implemented system.out.println statement to just check that everything is now working fine or not. So let's go back. Now I mentioned this glue code in my steps. So in this steps, this file is now available. And now let's run that. So now you see that everything is running fine. There is no error. And if you see the output now, this is scenario, successful login with valid credentials. So this is the output. The user is on the login page. Let's go back and see. This is the println statement, which I have mentioned. The user is on the login page. And then the second situation is the user enter valid username and password. So you see that this is the outcome, and this is the outcome for then. So my code is now working fine, and all those print statement, the user should be redirected, this is now printed. So now everything is mapped. It means that my given is working, my then is working, my when is working. but I need to test through Selenium because I need to do all the logging. So now I can update my code to add my Selenium. So you know that in Selenium, first of all, I can write my Chrome driver. So I mentioned my Chrome driver that I am working on this Chrome, and I maximize this window. So let's test this login page. So on login page, I need to first of all open this letcode.in. Then I am creating this find elements for login, and I am clicking on the login button. So I hope this makes sense. So when the user is on the login page, so what I am saying, open this letcode.in, find the login button and click it. So this is the testing for given scenario. So given scenario, simply say that when user is on the login page, just click on the login button. So I open the website and click on the login button. So let's run this. Run as JUnit. So now it will open this website letgo.in, and it will click on the login button. So my uh, given part is now done. Now, when user enter valid username and password and click on the login button. So now I have to write the code for when, and under when I need to mention the user should specify valid email and password and click on the login button. So let's now write the code for when. So when user enter valid username and password, so I need to write username. So I'm storing that in email. This is my password, and I'm looking for find element by name email and sending that data to email. Then looking for password and sending that data to password. And after that, I am checking my button for login button and then clicking on that. So I hope you got my point. This is the same code which we uh, discussed in Selenium class, that here when user enter the username and password. So based on our Gherkin syntax, we are moving to testing that. That is a behavior driven design. And we say that when user enter valid username and password, then these things should happen. So email and password will be entered, and then login button will be clicked. So let's run this. Let's run this again. Yeah, now it's working fine. So first of all, it will click on login, then username and password. So you see that successful login has been done and I got the welcome message. So then you can move to then part. And here we simply say that it is redirected to the dashboard. So you see that everything is now implemented. So successful login credentials, user enter valid username, and then it is redirected to the dashboard. So this is the complete login steps for this Selenium. So here I have implemented first of all before, which will set up my driver. Then @given, in which we write a method the user is on the login page. So simply user click on the login button, then user enter valid username and password, and then finally user is redirected to the dashboard. So there are only three parts. First is the login feature, in which we define Gherkin syntax. Then is the runner file, which is most important, in which we specify path for feature file and path for our main steps to test it. So all these steps are implemented here in this login steps, and it has three important tags. One is @given, @when, and @then, and you can write appropriate testing in that. So you need to run this test runner file as a JUnit. So first of all, it will run JUnit, and then it perform all the tasks which we mentioned in the Selenium, and everything is working smoothly. Yeah, so this is all about this Cucumber. If you have any question, you can ask me. Yeah, so this is all about this session. Rahat, are you there?
Yeah.
So, do you want to show something to all the participants?
Yeah, I can show. I didn't test it, but I can.
So, actually, Rahat has worked on Selenium tool in one as a one of the application. So he is going to demonstrate his application to all of you in this session. So Rahat, please, I will stop my screen share. So first, try to explain what you have done and objective, and then you can take it from that.
Yeah, so I actually made a script for filling out like a world map or like a
Rahat,
continent map.
can you first introduce yourself and then try to explain the context why you worked on that, and then try to relate that to your Selenium. Yeah, please. It will be nice if you can switch on your camera too.
Yeah.
And I hope you can manage within maybe 5-7 minutes, or you need more time.
Yeah, no, 5-7 minutes will be fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So I am Rahat. I am a student at Eastern Washington University in US, and I was actually working on one of my assignments from a geography class where I thought that I could write a script to do it and not do it by myself. So I used Selenium for that purpose, and it was basically an assignment to fill out a map of Asia where you had the list of countries and you had to put in where that country was. So no, let me just show you the assignment first, and then I can actually explain it better. Perfect. Wait a second. Sure. Yeah, you can see the screen.
Yes.
Yeah, so like here in this particular website, we have to input the country name here, and it will automatically print out where that, or like say where that country is. And here is the list of all the countries in that continent. So I picked up this list and I gave this URL, and then I made
Can you enter one country there so that we can understand that in the map?
like
Yeah,
here.
yeah, here.
Yeah, like we did India, right? So we can do Afghanistan. So it will automatically say where that country is. If I say
Okay.
China,
Okay, I got it. I got it. Thank you.
yeah. So this is what I particularly did. I'll just explain the code in a brief, small amount of time. So actually, I had to submit the screenshot of when that assignment was done. So what I do here is I just import Selenium, I install Selenium and then import Selenium, and I'm working in a headless mode because I could not work on a testing environment or a working environment on Google Colab. For that, I had to make an environment, and then I make a driver for the Chrome, and then giving this list from the website itself, and then you give in the list or the link of the website right here where you want to do the stuff, and then here is where I find where to input the text. So this is where I go into inspect. If I go here and do inspect, I can see what this text box says. So yeah, if I see the input data type is type is in mode, where which this is what I give here, type is input, and then I write a basic for loop where it enters each country, and then sleeps for 90 seconds because I had a particular time limit when I had to submit the assignment. So I like stopped it for 90 seconds, and then I took a screenshot and then saved the screenshot, and then it gave me the screenshot. So if we run this, it will not show anything on the front end because it is running in a headless mode. So it does everything at the back end. It won't even open the Chrome and do everything. It won't show anything, but it'll just show you the screenshot at the end of the code. So we will remove this 90-second sleep timer so that we don't have to wait for 90 seconds. If you can see this green arrow right here, it will run for these are 48 countries. So this for loop runs for 48 times, and after that it will just click a screenshot and show the screenshot in the file section.
So it means that you can also use Selenium for filling those online forms and all those stuff. So you can inspect all those text item, and then you can supply desirable data to those text item through automating Selenium. So Rahat tried that for this particular website, and in that case, he simply taken the
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is the screenshot. So it just took 55 seconds and give me the whole 100% score for the assignment. So I didn't do anything. That was like one thing I was thinking about, that if I actually have to, I was trying to write it down my own and it was giving me like more time as required. So I had to complete it in 2 minutes 30 seconds. And whenever I tried to complete it, it took 3 minutes or something. So I just wrote a code for that.
So if you have any question on this or any insights, please unmute and you can discuss that. Thank you, Rahat. Okay, bye. God
Yep.
bless you. So you can stop share so that I can start quiz. So now it's time for a final quiz. Since this is our last session. Okay, let me share my screen. So I request everyone to please join this quiz. There are 4 questions. So menti.com, and this is the code. You can even scan the QR code. I request everyone to join. We have only 3, 4. So it's menti.com. This is the code, or you can simply scan the QR code. So we have only 5 who is actually listening to our lecture. Okay, let's move to the first question. Good. Gherkin. So last question. Very good. So let's see who's the winner. Wow, Patel is on top. So Patel, can you unmute and please introduce to all of us?
Very good afternoon, sir. I'm Devanjali Patel, a third year student at Thapar.
Good, good, very good.
I have
So,
attended all your sessions on testing the.
nice, nice. So thank you, thank you. It's very good to know that you have attended all the sessions. So I
Yes,
hope
sir, it was wonderful.
good, good. God bless you. God bless you. So you're from which
Thank
city?
you, sir. I am CSE department, third year student.
Okay, good. God bless you. So second is Tom. Who is Tom? Please unmute. Jasween.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Jasween. I have recently completed my graduation from Thapar in Computer Science branch.
Good, good. So yeah, thank you. Thank for joining those sessions. Thank you. So Rahat, you already know him. Uh, Maverick and Angad, if you can,
Uh,
yeah.
Hi, sir. My name is Rima, and I have as well joined all your session to learn a bit more about the automation testing. And I must say, these all are really helpful. So, really would like to thank you for your time.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
you are from Thapar?
No, sir. Actually, I got to know about this session from my husband, who is one of your students.
Okay.
Really long ago batch. So I just got to
Okay.
know. So I just joined this session.
So now you are living in which city? You're
Sir, I live in Copenhagen, Denmark,
oh
and
nice.
I'm settled here from last 1 decade now.
Okay,
So,
good. Okay,
yeah.
give my regards to my student. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He talks highly about you, and I was so very much looking forward for this session before even this started. And I even passed on this in session information to some of my friends, and yeah, they also really liked it.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
so thank you once again, sir.
Thank you. God bless you. Angad,
Good morning, sir. My name is Angad. I am from Thapar and I have completed my BTech in 2024 in mechanical engineering.
good, nice. So I know you have attended maybe all the sessions, so thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Good. So at this point, I just want to introduce that we are soon going to start another lecture series on machine learning. So we will be discussing in detail about those machine learning algorithms like regression, classification, deep learning. So that will be a little bit long. So we are planning 8 sessions for those machine learning. And myself and Rahat will be conducting those sessions. So Rahat is my son. He's doing computer science bachelor at Eastern Washington University, and so we both will be conducting those machine learning session. And maybe by the beginning of next month, we will be starting that. So please share that information with your fellow friends. And of course, these workshop make sense if people join. So we are committed to conduct these, keep on doing all these workshops. So now the next workshop will be on machine learning. I will be soon sharing the posters and links with you. So please pass on that information to your friends and try to have maximum participation. And of course, you please also join that workshop too. Thank you.
Yes.
And I also need your feedback in term of 2-3 lines. You can, if even you can record a video or you can send me the text about the feedback of this workshop. It will be very helpful to complete the report on of that workshop. So please share your feedback in the form of 2-3 lines of text or any audio or video. So it will be very helpful for planning new workshops. Thank you. And please also share your suggestions to further improve on that.
Thank you, sir.
But God bless you.